Greetings to the people. This is Tania. I want to talk about the way I knew our 6 murdered comrades, because the fascist pig media has, of course, been painting a typically distorted picture of these beautiful sisters and brothers. Cujo was the gentlest, most beautiful man I've ever known. He taught me the truth as he learned it from the beautiful brothers in California's concentration camps. We loved each other so much, and his love for the people was so deep that he was willing to give his life for them. The name Cujo means unconquerable. It was the perfect name for him. Cujo conquered life as well as death by facing them and fighting. Neither Cujo or I had ever loved an individual the way we loved each other, probably because our relationship wasn't based on bourgeois fucked-up values, attitudes, and goals. Our relationship's foundation was our commitment to the struggle and our love for the people. It's because of this that I still feel strong and determined to fight. I was ripped off by the pigs when they murdered Cujo, ripped off the same way that thousands of sisters and brothers in this fascist country have been ripped off of people they love. We mourn together, and the sound of gunfire becomes sweeter. Jelena was beautiful. Fire and joy. She exploded with the desire to kill the pig. She wrote poetry, some of it on the walls at Golden Gate, all of it in the LA Pig Files now, that expresses how she felt. She loved the people more than her love for any one person or material comfort, and she never let her mind rest from the strategies that are the blood of revolution. Jelena would have yelled firepower to the people if there wasn't the necessity to whisper the words of revolution. We laughed and cried and struggled together. She taught me how to fight the enemy within through her constant struggle with bourgeois conditioning. Gabi crouched low with her ass to the ground. She practiced until her shotgun was an extension of her right and left arms, an impulse, a tool of survival. She understood the evil in the heart of the pig and took the only road that could demoralize, defeat, and destroy him. She loved to touch people with a strong, not delicate embrace. Gabi taught me the patience and discipline necessary for survival and victory. Zoya wanted to give meaning to her name, and on her birthday she did. Zoya, female gorilla, perfect love and perfect hate reflected in stone-cold eyes. She moved viciously and with caution, understanding the peril of the smallest mistake. She taught me, keep your ass down and be bad. Faiza was a beautiful sister who didn't talk much, but who was the teacher of many by her righteous example. She, more than any other, had come to understand and conquer the putrid disease of bourgeois mentality. She proved often that she was unwilling to compromise with the enemy because of her intense love for freedom. Faiza taught me the perils of hesitation, to shoot first and make sure the pig is dead before splitting. She was wise and bad, and I'll always love her. Sin-Q loved the people with tenderness and respect. They listened to him when he talked because they knew that his love reflected the truth and the future. Sin knew that to live was to shoot straight. He longed to be with his black sisters and brothers, but at the same time he wanted to prove to black people that white freedom fighters are comrades in arms. Sin-Q was in a race with time, believing that every minute must be another step forward in the fight to save the children. He taught me virtually everything imaginable, but wasn't liberal with us. He'd kick our asses if we didn't hop over a fence fast enough or keep our asses down while practicing. Most importantly, he taught me how to show my love for the people. He helped me see that it's not how long we live that's important, it's how we live, what we decide to do with our lives. On February 4th, Sin-Q Mtume saved my life. The Malcolm X Combat Unit of the SLA was a leadership training cell under the personal command of General Field Marshal Sin-Q. General Tico was his second in command. Everything we did was directed toward our development as leaders and advisors to other units. All of us were prepared to function on our own if necessary until we connected with other combat units. The idea that we are leaderless is absurd as long as any SLA elements are alive and operating under the command of our General Field Marshal. It's hard to explain what it was like watching our comrades die, murdered by pig incendiary grenades. A battalion of pigs facing a fire team of guerrillas, and the only way they could defeat them was to burn them alive. It made me mad to see the pigs looking at our comrades' weapons, to see them holding Cujo's .45 and his watch, which was still ticking. He would have laughed at that. There is no surrender. No one in that house was suicidal, just determined and full of love. It was beautiful to hear Gabi's father. He understands. Gabi loved her father, and I know that much of her strength came from the support he gave her. What a difference between the parents of Gabi and Cujo and my parents. One day, just before the last tape was made, Cujo and I were talking about the way my parents were fucking me over. He said that his parents were still his parents because they had never betrayed him, but my parents were really Malcolm X and Assata Shakur. I'll never betray my parents. The pigs probably have the little Olmec monkey that Cujo wore around his neck. He gave me the little stone face one night. I know that the pigs are proud of themselves. They've killed another black leader. In typical pig fashion, they have said that Sin Q committed suicide. What horse shit. Sin committed suicide the same way Malcolm and King and Bobby and Fred and Jonathan and George did. But no matter how many leaders are killed, the pig can't kill their ideals. I learned a lot from Sin and the comrades who died in that fire. And I'm still learning from them. They live on in the hearts and minds of millions of people in fascist America. The pigs' actions that Friday evening showed just how scared they really are. They would have burned and bombed that entire neighborhood to murder 6 guerrillas. The SLA terrifies the pigs because it calls all oppressed people in this country to arms, to fight in a united front to overthrow this fascist dictatorship. The pigs think that they can deal with a handful of revolutionaries, but they know they can't defeat the incredible power which the people, once united, represent. It's for this reason that we get to see, live and in color, the terrorist tactics of the pigs. The pigs saying, "You're next." This kind of display, however, only serves to raise the people's consciousness and makes it easier for our comrades, sisters, and brothers throughout the country to connect. I died in that fire on 54th Street, but out of the ashes I was reborn. I know what I have to do. Our comrades didn't die in vain. The pig lies about the advisability of surrender have only made me more determined. I renounced my class privilege when Sin and Cujo gave me the name Tania. While I have no death wish, I have never been afraid of death. For this reason, the brainwashed duress theory of the pig Hearst has always amused me. Life is very precious to me, but I have no delusions that going to prison will keep me alive, and I would never choose to live the rest of my life surrounded by pigs like the Hearsts. I want to see our comrades in this country's concentration camps, but on our terms, as stated in our Declaration of Revolutionary War, not on the pigs' terms. Patria o muerte, venceremos. Death to the fascist insect that preys upon the life of the people.